Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thanks for tuning in and let's get to it. So I'm starting off with priming my eyes. I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer and this is in the shade Fair. And for this part, you can use a brush or you can use a beauty blender. You can basically use whatever you have, but I'm just going to use my ring finger and blend it all out. And you're going to want to keep doing this up until all of the product is evenly blended and it's as light as you want it. I'm going to be starting off with this taupe shade. I'm using this as a transition color. This is actually a palette that I got from Walmart. I'm not too sure what the name of it is, but I will list it below. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm barely picking up any product with my brush. I'm slowly building it on the outer part of my eye. Keep in mind that when you're doing this, you're going to want to use windshield wiper motions and circular motions. I don't want to be too harsh because I don't want it to look blotchy. Now I'm going to take a little bit of Fix Plus on a flat shader brush and I'm going in with Rob Sheppy's Pearl Fizz. Now I'm spraying this to make the color payoff just a little bit more pigmented. This shade I actually got in my Ipsy Glam bag a few months ago and I have to say it is a really nice color. Now to make sure everything looks nice and blended, I'm going back with no additional product on a fluffy brush that I was using earlier, and I'm just going to make sure it's a little more blended than what it was before. With that same palette, I'm just going in with a darker shade of brown and I'm going to keep this on the outer V of my eye. And for this, I am using little circular motions, and this is just to help build that cat eye effect. Since I'm using such a dark shade, I'm going to be going very slowly. As you can see, I'm not bringing it too high up because it is very easy to create a raccoon-eyed look. So you're going to want to keep it really low. I went ahead and did my eyeliner off camera because it can be very tricky to try to film it and do it at the same time. Now I'm just going in with some mascara very quickly. You can use any mascara that you have. To me it doesn't really matter because I'm going to go over it with false lashes anyways. Now I'm going to be using my tweezers and applying my false lashes? I meant to say lashes. These are just some wispy ones that I picked up. They're very thin, they add enough volume and enough length to my liking, which is why I use them all the time. I think the biggest problem that people have with lashes is that they don't let the glue get tacky before applying them, and also you have to have something to help apply the lashes with, whether it's the little tool that it comes with or tweezers. Now for the face, I'm going to be priming using the Nivea Post Shave Balm. I know it's weird, but it's actually a really good primer. For those of you who haven't tried it, I definitely recommend for you to give it a try. I know that it does clog your pores and it can cause some breakouts. It's happened to me. I just don't use it every day. So now for foundation, I'm going to be using the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation and I'm in the shade Rattan. And I'm just going to be applying it with my finger, and then I'm going to go in with my damp Real Techniques beauty sponge to kind of dab it all over my face and get it even, and also it's going to help build the coverage that I want. And when you're applying your foundation, you just want to make sure that you get it spread evenly. You do want to make sure that you bring it down your jawline just a little bit. Now to highlight, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. This is in the shade Light, and I'm just going to be applying this underneath my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, on my forehead, and also on my chin. And then with that same damp sponge, I'm going to go back in and blend it all out. Now to set everything in place, I'm going to be using the Airspun Loose Setting Powder, and I'm going to be applying this everywhere that I have my concealer. To contour, I'm going to be using the Fawn shade from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit. The thing is with contour is that it's very easy to be messy, so you want to slowly build the product in. Here I'm barely picking up any product on a big fluffy brush. I'm kind of getting an outline, and then I'm going back and buffing it in and adding more product. So with whatever product I have left over, I'm just buffing it into my chin area to kind of give it that nice shadow and to define the jawline. And then I'm going to pick up some more product and buff it into my temple area. And like I said earlier, you slowly want to build the product, and so that's what I'm doing. I'm going back, buffing it out, and then I'm adding more product as I go. The darker I want it, the more product I'm adding, so that's why I'm doing it very slowly. Although I didn't feel like my contour was super messy, I'm someone who does like it very sharp. So I'm going back in with that Airspun Loose Setting Powder to kind of clean it up a little bit. I felt like the brush that I was using wasn't picking up enough product, so I just picked up my Real Techniques Beauty Sponge, and I'm just using it to kind of pack on the powder. So while I let that sit, I went ahead and added Benefit's Dandelion for my blush, and I'm just applying this all over the apples of my cheeks. So for my highlight, I'm going to be using the Jaclyn Hill Champagne Pop. I usually use a brush for this, but it was actually being clean, so I'm just picking some up on my ring finger and applying it to the high points of my cheekbones, down the bridge of my nose, on the tip of my nose, and also on my cupid's bow. So very quickly, I'm going to be picking up a little bit of that Fawn shade from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Contour Kit, and I'm going to just be creating a small shadow down the bridge of my nose to kind of even out with the rest of my face. Now I'm taking a large stippling brush, and I'm just going to be dusting off all that additional product that I had left on my face. So now with that same palette that I was using earlier, I'm going to be taking the light brown shade and running it back and forth underneath my waterline. So to open up my eyes a little more, I'm going to be going in with the NYX Wonder Pencil, and this is in the shade Light, and I'm going to be running it back and forth on my waterline to make my eyes appear a little bit bigger. Once I'm done with that, really quickly, I'm just going to put a quick coat of mascara on my bottom lashes. Then with that same palette, I'm going to pick up the lightest shade that's on there, and I'm going to be using it to highlight my brow bone. And to make sure everything is nice and blended, I'm going to pick up that fluffy brush that I was using earlier with no additional product and just kind of use windshield micro motions to kind of blend everything together. Then to finish off the look, I'm going in with the Balm's Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick, and I'm using the shade Committed. Alright guys, that is it. That completes the look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, and thanks. Bye.